Hello, my wonderful students. I welcome you to today's class. Our topic for today is peace education. We are looking at peace education. First of all, let's look at the meaning of peace before looking at what peace education means. What is peace? What is peace education? Let's look at the meaning of peace. What is peace? Peace is that period of time where there is no violence, arguments, or war in a country. Peace is that period of time where there is no violence, war, or argument in a country. Why peace education is when you acquire the knowledge and skills. When you acquire those knowledge, those skills that you need to live in harmony with other people in the society. So it is the process of acquiring the values, the skills, the knowledge, developing the attitude that you require to live in harmony with other people in the society. So peace is very, very important. It is important for there to be peace in the society. Otherwise, when there is no peace, then the society will be in a state of chaos. Everything will go down. There will not be investors. People will run helter-skelter, and we will not be able to go about our daily business. Have you known the meaning of peace? What are the mechanisms for promoting peace? Mechanisms for promoting peace. That is, what are those things that must be in place for peace to be promoted? Let's look at mechanisms for promoting peace. Mechanisms for promoting peace. There are so many mechanisms. The various mechanisms include encouraging commitments. We will look at encouraging commitments. Again, another mechanism is consequences of war. Of course, if anyone has experienced war before, the person would value peace. You will know that peace is very, very important when you experience a war situation. Another one is value of peace. Peace is very valuable. We should have value for it. Another one is love the world. When you have love for the world, when you love the world, you will love other people. You wouldn't do things that will hurt people. And by so doing, there will be peace in the society. Another one is care for others. We need to care for people. Don't be selfish, not be self-centered. You should care for other people. By so doing, there will be love. By so doing, there will be togetherness. Another thing is social behavioral symptom. The things you need to learn, the training you need to acquire to live in harmony with other people. Again, we have management of anger. Anger could be very, very destructive. If you don't know how to control your anger, you might destroy so many things before you realize it. Anger is something that is not good. We should learn to control it. Again, we have taking of responsibility. We should learn to take responsibility. We should learn to take responsibility. Again, we have brainstorming. You put heads together with other people, especially while resolving issues, and find a lasting solution for any issue that would have led to violence. Having looked at all these mechanisms, let's take them one after the other. Let's look at encouraging commitment. What does it mean to encourage commitment? What does it mean? So, what does commitment mean after all? What does encouraging commitment entails? Now, when we talk of encouraging commitment, we are talking about you being able to keep to agreements, especially signed agreement. When you have an agreement with somebody, and that agreement is documented or signed, try and keep to the terms of the agreement. Not that you agree today, tomorrow you are coming to say that you are no longer agreeing to the terms which you have signed. So, when you agree with anybody, any institution, try to keep to the signed agreement. That is what commitment is all about. A committed person would more often than not keep to their agreement. They keep to their commitment that they have signed. Just be a man or a woman of your word. You sign something, agree to the terms. By so doing, the parties involved in the agreement will not have any cause to have any misunderstanding. Again, having looked at agreement, you can see the pictures, see people standing and then agreeing on a thing. And then it will be good to keep to the terms of this agreement. Let's look at another mechanism, which is consequences of war. What is consequences of war? What does it mean? What does consequences of war mean? Let's look at consequences of war. Now, you know that war is not a good thing. War is something that is very, very bad. When there is war, you have hunger in the land, famine, poverty, and so many things are destroyed. Take a close look at the pictures before you. You see a situation of war, properties destroyed, children looking hungry, things worth millions and billions of naira destroyed. You see things getting bad. You see, war is not good. War is not good. When there is war, there will be no investors that would like to come invest in such a place. So the effect of war has harm, especially physical and psychological harm to children and adults. So war is not something that is good. So knowing that war has a very bad consequence, we need to always ensure that whatever we do, we promote peace. Let's look at social behavioral symptoms. Social behavioral symptoms. What does social behavioral symptoms mean? What does it mean? Let's look at that. Social behavioral symptom. Social behavioral symptoms is about the training of individuals. The training that an individual undergoes to enable him resolve interpersonal problems through various means of negotiation. It is the training that people get themselves involved into to enable them resolve interpersonal disputes through negotiation. When you have this training, then you should be able to negotiate. Should be able to negotiate with persons that is having issues with you or whatsoever. Negotiate, arrive at an agreement, and then get to a middle point. You should be able to take compromise. You should be able to arrive at a compromise between you and the party involved. You negotiate, and then thereafter you reach at a decision. So social behavioral symptoms help you to acquire that training that you require. It helps you to acquire that training that you need to resolve disputes. You arrive at compromise and then negotiate, and then you resolve the issue. Let's look at love the world. What does it mean to love the world? If you have love for the world, will you want to do things that will bring violence and cause war to the world? What does it mean to love the world? Let's look at love the world. Loving the world is all about appreciating the world that we live in. It is all about promoting peace and togetherness in wherever you are. Loving the world is all about appreciating people for who they are and knowing that people are dynamic. Two persons cannot be the same. When you love the world, you will love the people in it. You will not want to cause trouble. And then by so doing, everyone will live in peace and harmony. People will live together happily without necessarily engaging each other in one form of violence or the other. Having listened to what peace is and the various mechanisms for promoting peace, you must start at least from your classrooms to maintain peace with your friends and as well as your neighbors at home, and this should extend to the larger society. In our next class, we shall be looking at Nigeria and the world, interdependence among nations, how Nigeria relates with other parts of the world and maintain peace within the global system. Until then, do have a wonderful time for yourself and ensure that you don't renege in your academic studies. Do have a wonderful time once again. Goodbye and thank you very much.